Oh my goodness. Okay. Woo, got it. All right. Welcome to the Shop for Good Back to School Edition InfoShare. We're super excited about this new take on an annual campaign for Share. If you don't know, this is my first back to school campaign. I mean, my first Shop for Good campaign with Share. I just joined in September. So all of this is fresh for me, and I'm excited to explore it all and dig into it with all of you. And Melissa, I'm going to have you go over for those who are new for Shop for Good, just what it is.
Yeah. Hey, by show of hands, who has participated in a former Shop for Good? Susie, Monique. Can't see everyone. All right. Well, welcome back. As you know, Shop for Good has been around probably about 6 or 7 years for us. And it really is a way that we can rally the Charlotte community to buy the things you need so that you don't have to pay for them. So that it comes directly to your door. You're getting exactly what you need. People really like to give in this way. It's new and different than just volunteering your donation. And so this is our job this summer, is really to rally the community to shop for good, to get you the items you need. And I thought, this kind of, as Susan mentioned, this fresh take on it, this back to school theme is so really cool because, a lot of you spend a lot of money and time on getting the items that you need to get preschoolers ready, to get K through 12 students ready, to get college students ready to go back to school. And so with our great partner, Duke, we're excited to promote this kind of unique twist on our Shop for Good campaign this year. So as we go through this, be thinking about, you're all here because you probably have some back to school needs and things like that. But what you're going to see throughout this toolkit is just creative ways to make your campaign come to life, to understand what we're going to do to promote this to the Charlotte community, and then how you can tailor this to your exact needs to get the items that you need shipped to your door. The next slide.
Yep, and also just that it's happening. Our actual Shop for Good week is July 14th through 18th. So about 2 months from now, we'll be kicking off heavily in promotion for that.
1 month.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Okay.
Yes,
And
mid-June.
yeah, our tagline for the campaign is because every kid, every student deserves a great start. We know that a fresh start begins with having the right tools. And no matter what new experience you're entering into, having those supplies that you need really can make all the difference in terms of your confidence and just feeling like you're entering on a more level playing field. We also know that the cost of school is back to school items are adding up for families and teachers. That 758 number you're seeing there is from an Axios article that's linked from last year. It's a real thing. Some families are, in order to make sure that their kids are entering school with those items, they're not buying all the groceries they might need for the week, or maybe, going later on a utility bill. Our teachers also are spending so much money of their, limited resources. North Carolina teachers are actually spending an average of $1,300 a year of their own money on school supplies. To make sure when they see kids in their classroom that don't have needs and they want to, try and meet those needs, or just things that they need to run their programming. And so this is something that we can all kind of relate to and get Charlotteans rallied around. And of course, as we all know, this is about more than just giving like pencils and pens and paper. This is about, our community saying we value education. We see the potential of all of our students, and we want to help them make that right step forward. And as Melissa said, where Duke is back as our presenting partner for this year. And with us today is Dominique Johnson, who's the North Carolina Philanthropy Manager and the VP of the Duke Energy Foundation. So Dominique, would you want to say a couple of words?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Susan and Melissa. So I'm just so happy to join you guys today, and I am very excited for this campaign. I don't know if everyone knows, but I used to be a teacher back in the day. And so right out of undergrad, broke as ever, I had to try to furnish my first classroom. And so just thinking about that challenge that I personally had to overcome makes me specifically more passionate, I feel like, about this cause. And so the great thing about this with the share team that we've been able to really emphasize is for folks to think outside the box when they think about back to school. To Susan's point, it's not just pens and paper, right? It's I need, extra long sheets for my twin bed to go back into our dorm room. Things of that nature that you really don't think about unless you're there in it. And I have a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old, so I'm in the thick of it still. So I know about it as a teacher and as a parent. So just thank you guys so much on behalf of Duke Energy and our foundation. We really appreciate all the work you guys do to get our kids, ready to go back to school. I mean, we can't expect them to achieve if we don't let them try to at least get on a fair playing field. So appreciate all the work you guys do. Thank you, Susan, Melissa, Share Team, for the opportunity to sponsor and partner on this great event. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks, Dominique.
Dominique. Thank you so much. Okay, here's some reasons why, we encourage you to be a part of every share campaign that we, promote externally, but also specifically for Shop for Good. As you know, you'll get the items that you need delivered directly to your door. So this isn't about necessarily having to put collection bins in special places or, or have special times in your office where people are dropping things off. This is just, good old Amazon delivering at all hours of the day right to you. When you partner with Share in our campaigns, you're reaching just a broader audience than you guys have your specific audience that you're, speaking to directly a lot, but just when we get to mention you, new people get to find out about you and your mission, and who knows what that can turn into. And it's just not only would they maybe shop for items that you need, but as you know, once people just take an interest in a nonprofit, you have potential to cultivate those relationships into new volunteers, new donors, new board members. You never know who might, meet your organization and fall in love with it. And this is incredible impact. So since 2015, nonprofit partners have received more than $26,000 in products, 26,000 products valued at 223K, and an average of $626 worth of items. And so we're trying to make it very simple for you to get involved because we know that this can make an impact for you. Many of you guys already know this if you've been part of our other campaigns, but for those that are new, just wanted to review that Share Charlotte has a role in promoting this. And we've created tools throughout this toolkit for you to take advantage of and promote as well. But here are the things that we are going to do. There'll be a banner on our website, which gets a lot of traffic. We're averaging about 17,000 visitors to our site a month. It's really growing. People are looking for opportunities. If you just put into your search term volunteer opportunities Charlotte, we're #1 there. So a lot of people are searching for that, and especially during the summer months, trying to look for opportunities for service hours for their kids or their things that their families can do together or other events. And so we'll be promoting it there. That digital guide that we'll talk about in a few minutes will also be housed right on our homepage. We'll have a blog. We'll be running week-long, lots of promotions during that July 14th through 18th week, which is just a month away, and promoting them to all of our social media folks, 24,000 followers across Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And then we'll have dedicated emails go out to our neighbors email list, which is about 36,000 neighbors who have opted in to receive good news about Charlotte. As you complete your media survey, we'll use that and look at things happening to contact media partners about things that they might be interested in covering. Those include partnerships with WBTV, QC News, WCNC, and our Do Good Charlotte podcast. if anyone has any questions so far, feel free to go off mute and ask.
Susan, also, I would wanted to mention anyone, including Share, who is friends or follows me on any sort of social media, LinkedIn. I don't know the terms well, so I'm messing it up, I'm sure, but you can tag or share or do whatever you need to get the information on my page as well. You're more than free to do so.
That's awesome. Thanks, Dominique.
I hear a takeover.
Um, the best thing that tool that we have to promote what the items that you need is our Shop for Good digital guide. So it's just an online catalog where you'll tell us the items that you need. Obviously, as you can tell through the pictures, we're going to ask you when you submit your form to actually send us the Amazon link to your most desired item that we'll showcase in the picture there. But on that form that you'll receive, the link is there, right there where it says media form. You're just going to tell us about the impact that these items might make, who you're serving through these items, and they will link right to your share profile where your Amazon wish list is located. So Manda will get into that in just a little bit about making sure your Amazon wish list is linked and all the right best practices to make sure everything goes smooth with that. But this is the number one thing that after you figure out the items you need, this is the form that you'll need to complete because this sort of, for us, starts the ball rolling on all of our promotions for your supplies. As I've already touched on, share your stories. So in that, you can go in deeply into telling us about the families that you serve, make it compelling. What is this impact? Talk about the needs of your community, a student that comes to you that has so much potential, but just needs a hand up. And we want to be able to share those stories far and wide for you. So just always be thinking about impact, impact, impact. And just tell us more than you think we need to know in that. Or you can even just send me an email if it doesn't seem to fit into the form about, I'd love to highlight this student in my program. We'd love to help you do that also. There's just Melissa was on with Lauren Evans and Beds for Kids last year as they were talking about their Shop for Good promotion. So
Yeah, and Susan, if I could jump in, what made that segment really interesting, and you all have these stories, is Lauren with Beds for Kids. She was asking for lamps because a lamp is something a lot of times overhead lighting in a lot of these apartments that they're furnishing don't have good lighting for kids to read by or do their homework by. So a really cool thing she was asking for was lamps off her Amazon wish list. So I just want to provide that as an example of something that you may know that you need, but the community might be, oh, wow, I didn't even think about the fact that kids need better lighting to do their homework and things like that. So just a great example of stuff you live and breathe every day that the community may not know about, but is really interesting to them. And they are going to want to help. A lamp for $15 is easy to supply. So sorry, Susan.
No, I love that. I love thinking about things that, you know, obviously beyond just even thinking about, markers and papers or binders or folders, typical things. Like what is something that is a little bit more, or even would make a student in your program feel like something special. So maybe their parents can think about the basic things they get, but might be something special that you might want to give the kids in your program. Like uh really fun pouches or pencil pouches or whatever it would be that kind of give kids a little boost. I know my kids are always like want something that has a little flair in it for their school supplies to make it stand out. All right, now you're going to hear from a couple of your peers. Thank you guys, Susie and Corinne, for being here to share about your back to school or your Shop for Good experiences last year.
For those of you who don't know, tell us a little bit about your mission and your programming.
Yeah, I can. Oh, or Susie, do you want to kick us off?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, y'all. My name is Corinne Zumbato Campbell, and I am the program manager for a Charlotte-based nonprofit called Circle de Luz. And we are an education, mentorship, and scholarship program for Latina students in the city. So we're working with students in middle school and high school, and then we're also supporting the whole household. So even though our students are our primary program members, we do have a bilingual case management program that's supporting parents, aunts, uncles, siblings in the home. And so for our back to school efforts, we are actively sort of seeking out supplies for our students, but then we're also thinking about like siblings, anyone else who's going to school in the home as well. So we're kind of looking primarily for our middle school, high school support, but then we're also keeping in the back of our mind collecting supplies for those younger students in the household.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to be a panelist. Phillips Academy is a middle school, high school, and young adult program for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Our motto is real learning for real life, and we are preparing to celebrate 20 years starting in July. The school is focused on kind of modified academics, job training, and social skills and independent living skills. So we haven't quite honed in on exactly what our ask, our theme is going to be for this year's Shop for Good, trying to kind of find that special feature like the lamp you mentioned. But the most success that we've had over the past couple of years is when we really choose a theme, kind of have a tagline, a little hashtag, and tell the story from a student's perspective.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Wish list last year.
Last year we did a kitchen know-how theme. So part of the school day every day is working in a training kitchen, a vocational lab, and the school has a house where we're practicing and really maintaining a house like you would any place you live. So we honed in on kitchen supplies like baking sheets, spatulas, kitchen linens like towels and aprons, and cleaning supplies like gloves and cleaning wipes, and kind of told the story of how our students spend time in those places to prepare to live in an apartment or have a job at a restaurant. So we had a very long list of items on our Amazon list, and I think people do respond to that storytelling and kind of can connect the dots between the items and what happens at the school every day.
Susie, I think that that's a really good point about having lots of items. Of course, in the digital guide, we'll highlight what you feel is your most pressing item and list a few others. But just like we all feel like when we're shopping a registry of some sort, I mean, people want to be able to participate at different price points. And so you may have a higher cost item, but then if people want to buy a spatula and feel like they're contributing in some way, that still makes a difference. So I would just, take that as a best practice for everyone, that just because you're limited in what might be showcased in the digital guide, have still lots of things on your wish list.
We, in part because of these preparation workshops that you all provide, we manage that Amazon list kind of in that way. Like you might have a spatula or kind of a multi-pack of kitchen tools that are at different price points, and people can select the one that fits with their budget. And we always add, you can add a description about why you might need a spatula, but I kind of try to tell a little story in that section too, about, a student making dog treats in the training kitchen. That's part of our job training program, for example.
That's a great description. Torin, you want to tell us a little bit about your wish list?
Yeah, absolutely. Very similarly, we have kind of we have a pretty I'd say kind of full package back to school wish list, but we're looking for backpacks, water bottles, like notebooks, pens, pencils. We do take a look at the CMS guide that's published for here's what our students are required to be bringing into the classroom based on their grade, and then kind of go ahead and use that as our starting point. One of the things that we really try to do is have sort of those fundamentals of okay, we need highlighters, we need pencils, we need notebooks, but then very similarly, really try to personalize like find fun and like super cute. We're working with teen girls, and so I love creating shopping lists for items because I think like, what would I have thought was cute when I was a teenager? And so things like little animal erasers and pastel colored backpacks and really just trying to um, get a combination of things like this would apply to all of our students, or this would also apply to siblings, and then sort of this category of things that are a little bit more like decorative and tailored and fun. And that was a really interesting pattern to see last year of we had some folks who were like, I want to buy all of your highlight. Like I want to like I'm gonna like buy in bulk some of those fundamentals. And then we had other folks who were super excited for like the animal erasers. Like they were like, these are so cute and I want to buy a bunch of these because I want the girls to have them. And so we did really see that spectrum of kind of different like shoppers and different supporters are definitely bringing kind of different like approaches and mindsets to the experience. Um, and then with that as well, one of the things that we try to prioritize, especially for teens, is any opportunity to get them off of their phones and also engaged in the classroom as much as possible. And so we also asked for lots of art supplies. We asked for things like mental health coloring books and just kind of activities that we could also throw in that, they might not be necessarily coloring in the classroom, but things that can help with just sort of like helping them have an outlet that's not digital outside of the classroom or in and around school. We include things like fidget items within the wish list, and I do try to be mindful about items that wouldn't necessarily be distracting in the classroom, but things that can be like subtle that can help them maybe get out any like nervous energy that they might have if they're struggling to focus. So we try to focus more on things like rings and like keychains and things that could be pretty easily integrated into their daily routines at school that won't be distracting for other students or distracting for the teacher, but that would give them a little bit of that outlet so that they are able to like focus a little bit better in the classroom itself. So we kind of did a like here's the foundational supplies that they might need, and then here's a little bit of thinking about their experience outside of the classroom too.
That's really great.
Mhm.
Lots of great things on that wish list. I love all the variety in that. Do you have any tips that you'd like to share for the upcoming Shop for Good week, including how you're thanking those who are donating from your wish list?
Yeah, and maybe if I could jump into like specifically how you promote, because I think that's a question a lot of people have in their heads of like, did you do it daily? Did you, start a little bit early and ask your board members? Like any tips for success on promotion, I think from you seasoned pros would be great.
Susie, you want to start?
Okay. Well, I adding that description of kind of like how a item might be used, I think is impactful. Um, I reviewed that my Amazon wish list regularly, probably at least daily, or I was a little kind of hyper focused on it where I would go and see what had been purchased. And sometimes moved things around, like moved things up and down. So the things I really wanted would be at the top, or if we had a lot of spatulas purchased, I would move that lower. So I would encourage people to kind of manage their list in that way, and maybe add or take away items over the course of the week. We promoted it via kind of an e-blast at the beginning. And I know that's tricky because there can be kind of a flood of e-blasts from different organizations. And then several posts on social media channels throughout the week. And what's showing here on the screen, I think I did a final day kind of e-blast and social media post to encourage people to do that, to participate. I think last year I tried to use more photos of students using the items also in my promotions, and instead of or in addition to the actual image of the product.
I think that's a great tips. We always think like actual programs photos that you have, with permission of kids using who their people are shopping for is a great tip to have. Corin, what about you? How did you guys promote through the week? You're on mute still.
Thank you. We had a pretty similar approach where we like did a combination of email and social media posting across platforms, and just kind of would adjust our message. Like I would promote it amongst our kind of more regular volunteer network, our board members, and then we would do email blasts to our kind of general supporters network, our donors. We did also even though we haven't formally, this was last year was our first year going through Share Charlotte for this drive. The year prior, we had done some collections. And so I had kind of looked at like who were our primary donors for either back to school or like winter donation collections in the past, and also did some targeted outreach to folks who we knew had a history of engaging in our organization this way. And then we were posting across social channels, and very similar to Susie, I was kind of adjusting like as folks were purchasing items or as we saw needs changing, I was kind of going into our wish list and making some adjustments. And sometimes like removing items based on like, okay, I think I have too many options in this category. Or I think like we're seeing a lot of successful purchasing in this area, so I'm going to like bump up our quantity in this category. So kind of making adjustments as it went on. We also did a little bit of like a countdown component where as we got closer, we would sort of do like we have 10 more days, or we have, this was our, in addition to the Shop for Good campaign, we were sort of leading up to our annual back to school meeting that we have with our students and families. And so we continued the campaign outside of the designated time period leading up to that event, and we're able to kind of do a little bit of a countdown leading up to back to school. And then that program was part of our sort of post like thank you and outreach process for our donors, because we were able to like give our students and families the supplies in real time all together at this program that we do at the end of the summer. And we were able to get photos of them engaging with like having their coloring books and engaging with the supplies that were donated. And so that was fun to be able to kind of capture, this is what it looked like when our students and families were receiving these items, and what that experience was like for them. So just doing kind of a lot of like like build up leading to this event, and then I'm kind of using the event as like an example of what the efforts of our donors kind of created for us.
That's awesome. I love the countdown idea. That's really good. And I think that is definitely helpful for any kind of campaign that you have going on to be able to reach your goals. So thank you both so much for sharing your insights with us today. If there's anything else you'd like to add?
One other thing I did last year that was effective is it also included a link to donate, especially in the e-blast. And we did end up getting, in addition to mostly shoppers, receive some donations as well.
That's another great idea.
Awesome. Hey, last question. Did y'all engage your board at all? Did you have your board buyout things? So it feels like an easy ask for your boards that sometimes are hesitant to say promote that, but just curious if you guys utilize that network.
I don't recall asking my board members to do anything in particular, although they are excited about, that campaign, and they're among the people who, when we can tell, participate in that campaign. That's an interesting, sometimes it's hard to know who is shopping for you on Amazon. So it would be nice to encourage, if there was a way to encourage people to add that note so we know where all the gifts are coming from. We have to call Jeff Bezos, I guess,
Yep.
and
We'll get him on the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on it.
Yeah, I very similarly, we like definitely shared the campaign with our board members and like encouraged them to engage, but I love the idea of utilizing them further this summer. I think they would be a great like I think they would provide some really excellent hands-on kind of like promotion, and I think that would be a really great way for them to be involved. Um, So we will try it this summer and
There
see,
you go.
giving them a more involved
Awesome.
role this year.
Yeah,
Report back.
Yeah, I think it could be, as simple as asking them to reshare a post that you do on LinkedIn, to, asking if there are ways that they could promote internally at their companies. If they, would be allowed to send it out in a company newsletter or something like that. You never know unless you ask. So those are two ways you might want to think about.
We do have a question in the chat from Dominique. Can you ask how much money they believe was because of their back to school campaign with Share? If you're able to know that number.
I think we could probably get that to you. I know it's been a year since they did it, but they reported back last year. I mean, it was definitely several thousands each that you guys got. And that's frankly how they got picked to be on this panel this year, is because they kind of rose to the top of the stack in terms of how much they gained. So yeah, Susie, yours was like several thousand, I feel like.
I think our products was around 1,000, maybe a little bit more, and around $750 worth of donations, which, um, and it's just fun to see those boxes roll in. Very excitable for the staff. So, I was surprised to hear the figures that you mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. But yeah, I'm glad that it's been a big success for us. And we're putting a little more effort into it the past few years, and I guess it's paying off. Yeah.
Thank you both again for your insights and tips and being willing to share. Okay. Let's get into that promotion. So on these links, we've created some social media graphics that you can use. There's lots of different options for headers, We have posts that include different ages of kids. So some look more college age, if that's your crew, or younger kids. And then I've also put in there just some email and social media copy content. Of course, the most important thing always for any sort of promotion is to create a clear call to action for how to access your wish list immediately. We believe the best way for them to do that is, for you to point them to your Share Charlotte profile. Because not only can they find your wish list there, they can also find, again, if you have an upcoming event, if there's something they might want to know about, ways to donate, or just a little bit about your programming. That's why we ask you to point it there. If you use that Shop for Good CLT hashtag and you tag us in it, I'm always happy to reshare what you're posting to our Instagram stories. So that's the way to make that happen. And also there's a border, as you could see on the last screen, where they had kind of created their own visuals within the graphics. So we have some that are ready to go and some with that Shop for Good border that you can kind of make graphics your own as well. And if you have any questions ever about what do you think of this, I'm always happy for you to email me, susan@sharecharlotte.org, and brainstorm some ideas with you as well. Here is a sample content calendar for your planning about just thinking about spacing things out so you're not just at the week before, like, oh, that's next week. Some things that you can think about, and I'm giving you the rest of this week off. You don't have to start. You don't have to start unless you want to till next Monday. But just, yeah, thinking of list of ideas. There are some really great ideas that they both shared, but our intern Madison put together a very extensive list on for Monday, where it says, here's a list of inspiration, an extensive list from preschool supplies to dorm supplies of things that you might want to think about adding. That June 27th date, on that Friday, is an important date because that's when those survey results are due. That's again how you get in the digital guide and how we start put together media pitches. On the 24th, you'll see we did put something in about like communicating your Shop for Good plans. Make sure the rest of your team knows. A good time to reach out to your board and let them know, and just ask how they might be able to help you out spreading the word. We always think that video, we know it does really well on social. So if you just want to like film, video can be intimidating, we know, but if you film just a quick video, use vertical orientation, film a quick video about the supplies that you're looking for, examples, and just say verbally, what they are and the impact that they'll make. That could be a good post for you. Also, just some things that you can be doing in advance so that week of is not too crazy. And then just some down there in the pink is just like, if you're looking for ideas of like, what am I going to post about every day? Those are just springboard ideas for things you could talk about, different nuances for every day of the campaign. As Susie said, there's going to be hopefully lots of things going out there. If you want to get ahead of the game and send your email out the Friday before and do that, you could do that. Say next week is Shop for Good. So just again, some ideas. And if you have any ideas that I can be adding to shared bites between now and then about things that you think would be good for the group to know, or here's what we're doing, we wanted to share, please just let me know. Okay. Yep, just a couple more pictures of posts from the past. I loved how Medicist, was really clear and upfront about what the medicine was going to do, who it was going to serve. You can dive into that copy too. And then we also just love, as Susie said, it's fun when the packages start to arrive. So if you're able to capture that later in the week and share, like, we want to thank you so much for your support thus far. We still have one day to go. It's not too late to support our back to school drive. That's just another idea.
Yeah, and I want to chime in on the importance of the repeat in, just staying on top of it in terms of getting that out there. Because you know how it is. It's like Monday, you see an email, you're like, oh, I love them. I love Phillips Academy. I should donate to them. And then you get busy and they forget. And then the next day, like, oh, shoot, I forgot to do that. So stay in front of it. We all know that we get distracted and things get busy. And then by the time Friday comes, like, oh my gosh, look at all the stuff they're getting. I got to get in on that. So just a reminder to don't be afraid to flood them with your need, because what you're doing is impactful and important, and they need to be reminded to support you.
Just some tips. I'll go through these quickly. You guys know most of this. Be specific and visual, show exactly what you need and who it helps. Talk about, if people may not be familiar with your program, you could say, we have, a cohort of first gen college students that meet with us twice a week, and we work on this with them. And this is how this supply will help us, impact them. Connect those donations to real life impact, again, with permission. If you get a picture, this is Susie. Oh, I keep using Susie and I'm Susie. This is Joey, and he is entering the first grade, and he is so excited to enter the first grade, and he is so excited to be getting X product. Thank you so much for your support. And just don't forget on Instagram, of course, that's how most of us will be, probably the most prominent place where we'll be posting that. It can get tricky for, you can't do live links, as you all know, in Instagram posts. So the most important thing is that right in your bio, even if you have a link tree, you're able to add up to 4 different links in your Instagram bio. Make sure one of those links is your Share Charlotte profile, so that you can just refer back to it and say, via the link in our bio, because you don't want to put your big, long Share Charlotte URL in that copy. So make sure that that is there. And then on stories, add that link. You can add a link sticker and, drop the link right in there. If you have any questions about what is she talking about, I don't know how to do that, please just reach out to me. All right, Amanda, getting their stuff all ready to go.
Yeah, so getting started, please use our step-by-step gift shop guide. It walks you through the setup, including how to feature items on your share profile. It also makes sure you follow it very carefully, so this is a foundation for a successful wish list that you have built for your nonprofit. And then be inspired by great examples that we have on this next slide. After today's InfoShare, please visit the sample wish lists that are provided, and you can see how other nonprofits are using creativity and clarity to attract their donors to purchase these items. It's a great way to get ideas of your own for your own wish list, and item descriptions and the tone, which is very important as well. And then I have a couple of key tips to make your wish list stand out that I feel are super important. They are encourage you to take notes and review your nonprofit's wish list afterwards. So I expect to see some updates on your share profile this week. Name your wish list. This is super important. So a great example is like Classroom Central wish list. It helps donors know who the wish list belongs to. So this is really essential, especially as you start sharing your wish list with people who might not be connected with your organization. Add a strong description. Briefly share your organization's mission, who it benefits from the items. Crucial for finding those new donors who find your list either through a friend or somebody else that has shared it from your organization, or just even public exposure from the Share Charlotte website. Build a thoughtfully wish list. So balance between your program needs, which is super important, and then your urgent needs. So ask yourself, what does your team really need right now? Provide those range of price points that we talked about. Items including $5, $10, $25, $50, and even $100 and up. And also ask for bulk items. Sometimes people like to shop in bulk. And make it easy for the donor to participate regardless of what their budget is. and add comments to your items. So personalize your request. Let people know why you need the item. So be kind of fun with it too. So I have a couple of examples. Magic Model is a very popular item that Girls on the Run uses. So their kind of description is our most useful craft item, helps bring ideas to life. So when you're looking at their wish list and when you read that, you really see and kind of can imagine what that magic model is going to be used for with their programming, and it makes you want to buy it. Glue,
Amanda, can I
yes,
pause you for a second? Don't we have a slide for this? I'm trying to find where your tips are.
not tips. I don't have a slide for this one.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I thought okay. Got
Glue sticks are the next one. We stick together, great for all workshops and class activities. So that's another great example of why they need glue sticks. Set priorities. Use the priority tool on your wish list from highest to low so that people know these are the highest items you need currently. And then it directs that donor's attention to where those items are needed most. And then make sure you set accurate quantities. So the default is 1, but if you need 10 of something, set it. Or if you need 50, make sure you set that so that people know why you need those items. It shows the donor that their impact on whatever level they contribute goes towards your goal. And then the final checklist that we have is on the next slide. It's kind of polishing your wish list. So these are just some little key things that you might not remember to do because you might have a wish list that's already been active for a while, but make sure your shipping address is correct. You don't want items donated going to the wrong address. Are your products in stock and available? I know Amazon sometimes sells out, or other retailers, Target, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. So you don't want to put items on your list that are not in stock. Do you have feature items on your Share Charlotte gift shop? So make sure that you do have those feature items featured on your Share profile because it makes it really stand out a lot more. And it's very attractive to your donors when they're searching for those gift shops they want to give to. Is your list easy to navigate and shop from? Do you know your wish list total value? I can't tell you how important this is because it matters when you have corporate groups, teams, influencers, church groups that want to often sponsor your entire wish list. So you want to know that total value. And if you have any questions, just reach out. Any questions on anything I went over?
Again, I apologize for all the jumping around with the slides. I was supposed to go, you were just going over tips that were on the last slide I was having. Any questions?
But if you have questions as you're updating your wish list, just reach out because I'm more than happy to help.
Okay. So here's what we do next. Again, fill up that wish list. Make sure it's linked to your Share profile and that you look at your Share profile and if it looks the way that you would like it to look. And reach out to Amanda if there's any issues with that. Think about your why. Think about when you're getting ready to fill out that media form, what is your big why about the impact and the need for the folks that you serve. Start doing anything that you can to capture photos or short videos or things like that to get your promotions ready so that it's not stressful during that Shop for Good week. And then promote them, promote during that July 14th through 18th week. And, reach out, make sure that you're at the bottom. I put this in there, but in that the email copy that I have, ask people to forward your emails or send specific, or if when you send that original email out, if you have friends or key donors or corporate partners, your contacts there, forward that email to them and say, wanted to be sure that you saw this, your support means so much. Would you be willing to forward it to anybody else in your network? Just ask. Again, I think this is something that most everyone can relate to. We've all been to school. Many of us have put children through school or have kids in our lives going back to school. And we just understand again, just like starting any job, that in order to start well, we all feel like we want to have the right tools. There's also a link here that we're asking you to fill out by August 6th so that we can know, how it went, the good and bad. About how it went so that we can really tell the impact and story of what Charlotte did for you during this season. Yes, And we've said this several times, but we really do hope that you'll take advantage of it. And we want you to know that we're here to answer any questions. No question is too small to reach out to us with anything that you need, because we really want you guys to be successful for this. We want the public who's here to support you have a great experience and a seamless experience also when they're shopping your wish list. So it benefits us if everyone's all ready to go. Stay tuned to your Share Bites emails on Wednesdays for updates or tips, or don't forget to do this. And also that shared nonprofit bulletin board. There's a link there. If you're not already on that, we'd love for you to join us there. Team, anything else?
I think we gave it to them.
Yeah, also
They
one
know
other
what to do.
in the chat. A pop-up on your website is a great promotional for Shop for Good. That was from Susie.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, hopefully you guys, the wheels are turning. This is just trying to get you thinking about it, take advantage of it, know our role, know your role, and know that we're here to support you in this and get you the items that you need so you don't have to buy them. And it's just a great new way to tell people about the work that you do and how they can support you. So,
okay,
awesome.